People treat you like a ghost because you have never shown them your teeth. Society does not reward the kindest heart, but rather the most difficult individual to replace. You are currently suffering from a self-inflicted lack of social presence and authority. Human attention is a biological resource that is only spent on rewards or perceived threats. By being overly available and pathologically nice, you have become a background character. You have trained the world to believe that your time has zero market value. This is the invisibility trap, where your compliance has erased your unique identity. To be seen, you must first become a psychological variable that cannot be solved. Chapter 1: The Curse of the Guaranteed Presence. The human brain is an efficient machine that ignores static and unchanging patterns. If you always say yes, your words lose their weight and chemical impact. You have become background noise in the lives of every person you know. To break this, you must introduce the element of strategic and cold unpredictability. This is not about being erratic, but about breaking the safe box of expectations. If you are always the quiet one, you must learn to speak with authority. If you are always the helper, you must learn to become the silent observer. Unpredictability creates cognitive friction in the minds of those who currently overlook you. It forces them to reevaluate your status and your value in real time. When they cannot predict your next move, they are biologically forced to pay attention. Chapter 2: The Brutal Economics of Your Social Time. Social status is a game of supply and demand played in every interaction. If your time is always available, the price of your presence drops to nothing. You respond to every message instantly because you fear losing a fleeting connection. In the psychology of status, the person who waits is the one who leads. You must begin to treat your attention as a limited and high-priced luxury good. This is the scarcity principle applied to your own personal and professional brand. Stop dropping your entire life the very moment someone calls your name. Finish your current sentence and your current task before you acknowledge their existence. This signals that your internal world is more important than their external demands. When you are less available, your presence becomes a psychological reward for others. Respect is earned in the many minutes you make other people wait for you. Chapter 3: The Apology Virus and Verbal Submission. Every unnecessary sorry is a verbal submission to the person in front of you. You apologize for asking questions and for simply taking up space in a room. This is a form of linguistic cowardice designed to prevent all social friction. But friction is the only place where true and lasting respect is forged. When you apologize for nothing, you signal that you are an intruder here. You must replace your submissive language with a framework of authoritative gratitude. Instead of saying, "Sorry, I am late," you should say, "Thank you for waiting." The first is a request for forgiveness, while the second is a statement of value. Stop apologizing for having an opinion as if your thoughts were a crime. If you do not value your own words, no one else will ever listen. Chapter 4: The Power of the Calculated Pause. Most people talk too fast because they live in constant fear of interruption. They believe that if they stop making noise, they will lose their place. This desperation for the floor is a clear and loud signal of low status. True social power lies in the ability to hold a silence without flinching. When you are asked a difficult question, wait 2 seconds before you answer. This indicates that you are a high-level processor and not a machine. Silence creates a psychological vacuum that the other person feels forced to fill. By remaining quiet, you force them to talk more and reveal their insecurities. The person who controls the silence is the person who controls the room. Learn to be comfortable with the long and heavy weight of the gap. Chapter 5: The Walking Away Threshold of Power. The ultimate measure of your value is your absolute willingness to leave. Most people are trapped in bad situations because they have no walk-away point. They signal to others that they will tolerate anything just to stay connected. A high-status individual has an internal red line that cannot be crossed. If someone treats you poorly, do not beg for their respect or attention. You simply remove your presence and your energy from the entire situation. Arguments are for equals, while departures are for those who are superior. When you walk away, you regain 100% of your leverage. Never negotiate with people who profit from your endless and weak compliance. The power of the exit is the only power that truly matters. Chapter 6. The Stoic Reclamation of Your Inner Frame. Respect is not something you get from others, but something you stop giving. You have been a beggar for social validation for far too long. A Stoic mind knows that the only opinion that matters is your own. If you feel small, it is because you have agreed to be small. You must kill the version of you that needs to be liked. Approval is a drug that makes you a permanent slave to the dealer. When you stop caring if they like you, they will start respecting you. Fear of being disliked is the wall that keeps you from your potential. Walk through the world as if you already have everything you need. Chapter 7. The Sovereignty of the Awakened Individual. To be respected, you must become your own absolute source of authority. Stop asking for permission to take up space in this physical world. Stop explaining your decisions to people who have no stake in your success. Explanations are for subordinates, while results are the language of leaders. When you are sovereign, you do not react to petty social provocations. Anger is a sign that someone has reached your sensitive internal core. Indifference is the sign that you are psychologically untouchable and free. Be the mountain that does not move rather than the fading echo. Chapter 8. The Final Death of the Invisible Doormat. Today you decide that your silence is more expensive than your words. You decide that your no is more powerful than your weak yes. You decide that you will never again apologize for simply breathing air. This is the rebirth of your internal psychological and social frame. People will be angry when you change and stop being convenient. They liked the version of you that was easy to walk on. Let them be angry because their anger is proof of your power. You are no longer a background character in the story of others. You are the protagonist of your own life and your own destiny. Conclusion: the sovereign victory over the social collective. Commanding respect is not about aggression, but about total self-ownership. When you own yourself, the world has no choice but to follow. Stop performing for an audience that does not care about your soul. Start building a reality that serves your highest and most honest self. The era of your social invisibility is now officially over. The era of your sovereignty and respect has finally begun. Stand up and claim the space that belongs to you alone. Own your silence and master the art of the cold exit. Win the game of status by refusing to play by their rules. The world belongs to those who are brave enough to be seen.